Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool wooden wall telephone, and this is a Kellogg, and this is Michelle's telephone from Florida. And this telephone has been in her family, and it's kind of been handed down from person to person. And so basically what's happened here is it's all been taken apart at some point, most of it. And we have a lot of plastic bags full of screws and parts, and you can see some of the parts that are on the shelf there. And so what we need to do is get everything back together again and start converting this telephone. We need to create a circuit so that when you get an incoming call, the telephone rings, but yet when you crank the magneto and ring the bells, it does not backfeed any voltage into the telephone line. And it does have a magneto and a crank, but the magneto at this point does not turn. So that's going to have to be gone through, and we're going to have to also put in a electronic microphone that we make here at the shop for the transmitter, and we're going to try to save the receiver, the original receiver capsule, and we're going to see how that turns out, see if we get enough audio out of that so that you can hear the party that you're talking to. So we're just kind of going to go through everything, and we have to go through the bells and the solenoid for the bells and see if that's working. So a little bit of everything is going to have to be done to this telephone. Now, we don't get into the cosmetic part of it, but the transmitter neck does need a coat of paint. So we're going to go ahead and paint that and get everything squared away. There is no wiring basically in this telephone, so we're going to have to rewire it. We also are going to have to install a receiver capsule cloth cord. The one that's on it is in bad shape, and there's not much of it left, and we're going to have to replace that. So we're just going to have to basically rebuild this telephone and get a start here on it. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to get some more video of this telephone as we move forward in the repair of it and the conversion. So we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are in the middle of the process of repairing the magneto. And so basically what we've done is taken it out of the telephone because it was seized up. And so now that has been freed up, and the magneto has been repaired, and the connections have been cleaned. And so we have it hooked up to a bell here, and we want to go ahead and do a test on it. So I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell. And now what we want to do is we need to straighten out the crank handle. It's been bent over the years, and so we want to get that straightened up. Now that the magneto has been repaired, we can replace it back into the telephone and then get all of our wiring to it, to our solenoid up top. And I want to give you a look at that. Okay, the solenoid for the bells here is what's going to have to be gone through next and repaired. As you can see, the connections are all frayed, and we need to go through that, make sure everything is fine-tuned, and that we can get that working properly. We have removed the bells, so we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now. I'm going to show a little bit about what's going on here. The magneto has been repaired, like we showed earlier in the video, but the problem is this is not the magneto to this telephone. So we basically had to router out the stabilized board, the shelf, and also this magneto has a couple of holes in the back for mounting brackets. So that's been mounted in, and now we have to make the shelf fit into the unit because the shelf was in the wrong spot for this size magneto. so that had to be routed out. Now we are going to stain the wood here where we had to router it out, and we also have to get a couple of bolts up underneath into the magneto to stabilize it. Plus we have these stabilizers up here, and then we want to glue everything back together again because the cabinet on the telephone has kind of wanted to expand out. So now we have to pull everything together and glue it together. So we'll just be working on that and getting that all squared away, and then we'll come back and get some more video as we move forward in the process of repairing and converting this telephone. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with the repair and conversion of this telephone. And we're going to run through a little bit about what went on. All the hardware was taken off this telephone basically, and we had to replace it and put it back together. We also installed the eyelets for the four corners that you would put a screw through so that you can mount this telephone. We also went through the receiver capsule and saved the original receiver. So that is original to the telephone. We installed a cloth cord, and then we had to rewire everything because there was no wiring in this telephone when it came in. Earlier in the video we showed that we had to take the magneto out and completely go through that and then rework the shelf because this is not the magneto that came with this telephone. So everything kind of had to be reworked and repaired. That's been wired up into the circuit now. We also had to create the circuit that when you crank the magneto and ring the bells, you don't backfeed any voltage into the telephone line. But when you get a call, the bells also ring. We went through the solenoids for the bell and got them straightened out, and we also had to adjust the bells for the most action. We had to go through the hook switch. There was some pieces missing, and so that's been taken care of now. We also had to reinstall the lock for this telephone, and there is a keyhole in the front, but if you just take a regular straight screwdriver and you put it in the little keyhole just like this, you can turn that lock, and it's pretty simple, but you'd have to get the hang of it if don't do this every day. So a straight screwdriver will lock this telephone up. As you can see, this is moving right now, and that locks the telephone door up. So a little bit of everything was done on this telephone. We also had to build an electric microphone circuit that's amplified for the transmitter. The transmitter was no good. We had to replace it with one of our transmitters that we build. There was no spit cup, so we had to install a spit cup here on the front of the telephone. We did repaint the transmitter neck, and so we just had a lot of various things that went on with this telephone because it was all apart when it came in. And now what we want to do is our test. But we also have installed our modular line port, so you would simply bring in a line cord, and in this modular port you would plug it in, and it's plug and play. And you can plug any length line cord, any color that you choose into this telephone. It makes for a simple, clean connection. So what we want to do now is we want to start doing some of our final checks on this telephone. And we'll go ahead and crank the telephone and ring the bells. Now what we can do is we can ring it with the analyzer, so we'll go ahead and ring it with the analyzer now. We'll let that go a few times. Bells have a very nice sound to them. I'll let it go one more time. I'm going to give you some dial tone. Now what we have is a switch on a switch box down here, and if I press that switch, that gives us a line out and totally takes the analyzer out of the situation. We can use a tone dialer to go ahead and make a phone call. So what we'll do is I'll go ahead and give you some dial tone. We'll call a time and temp number, but they're having problems with their equipment, and you'll hear a hum, and then the recording will start again. There's your dial tone.
Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, November 14th. The time is 5:52. Current temperature at 54 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the mid-30s. Mostly cloudy Friday through early afternoons, and partly sunny, a high 55.
Okay. We'll call one other number. I'll use another telephone to call that number. Then I'll hang it up.
Thank you for calling Walmart.
Might be on break.
Welcome to Belleville Walmart. How may I direct your call?
How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Pretty good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Who is this?
Okay. Can you give me the electronics, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sure their line is busy, but I'll try it in a second or two, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that. But you can hear me okay then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't need a new telephone, do I?
No, you don't need a new telephone.
Now that we know that this telephone has been repaired and converted, we can return it to Michelle, and she can start enjoying this telephone. It's been in her family, and so it's been handed down. And now this telephone can be used again. It's a very cool Kellogg wooden wall telephone, and I'm sure they're going to enjoy this telephone very much. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.